Hello, everyone. My name is Hans Glenford P. Romero. I am a student for Dr. Lin Zhu's Tech 198 Technology and Civilization course at San Jose State University for the spring 2025 semester. Today, I will be presenting about the impacts of digital technology in Africa and the effects of Africa's aspects and institutions on the developments of such technology. So the agenda for today's presentation will be broken down into four main parts. The first part of the presentation will provide an overview of the presentation. The second part will focus on the economic impacts of digital technology in Africa. The third will be on the political impacts. And the fourth and last will be on social impacts. As mentioned, this will be a presentation on the development of digital technology in Africa and the following general impacts. While the general impacts are important, the impacts we will mainly focus on, as mentioned, are 1. Economic impacts, 2. Political impacts, and 3. Social impacts. Specifically, we will be talking about aspects of digital technology, particularly information communications technology, also known as ICT. Some of the topics that will be covered in this presentation will either be about Africa as a continent as a whole, or will tackle different locations in the region, such as South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. First, we will be going over the economic impacts of digital technology in Africa. In this day and age, digital banking is important in this constantly changing economy. In Africa, where almost all locations are underprivileged, it has been difficult to implement technology. However, when done properly, livelihoods improve. Mobile banking is one aspect, as it advanced financial access to 50 nations across the continent and created financial inclusion in the whole region. It was later revealed that ICT is crucial to the developing and growing economies of Africa. Mobile banking has also created stability within banks, particularly in Sub-Saharan Africa.
It's 22 hours.
A positive impact is the reduction of non-performing loans, but a negative impact is the increasing intense competitions between the banks. But when more investments into ICT are made, there is a potential for the maximization of globalization of Africa's economies via digitalization. The growth of digital technology also created awareness in the technology gap, as the growth of other sectors such as agriculture and services created a negative technology gap growth rate, while providing a positive gap on equilibrium of technology. One reason is the use of heterogeneous technology by Africans, meaning that unlike developed economies' homogeneous technology, systems are often constantly changing. More time and dedication on changes to Africa's cultural, political, and social systems can be used to lessen the technology gap in Africa. Next, we'll be discussing the political impacts of Africa's digital technology. In South Africa, which is one of the most notable emerging democracies in the continent, ICT was used to promote political participation and democratic decision making. Based on the results from their 2014 general elections and 90,000 voters who participated in a research led by Aaron Ehrlich, it was found that the usage of ICT in South African democracy has an overall general positive impact. Pros include usage of mobile devices for polling, using ICT to promote the Get Out the Vote campaign, monitoring of polling places, and the ability to report irregularities in the electoral process, all of which reduce costs and help those in poverty be able to participate in politics. However, such cons include limited information about voters and participants, echo chambers within social media, and the potential spread of misinformation across the internet. Mobile technology has improved the lives of millions of Africans as economic ages are reduced and data about markets are provided. However, only half of the entire African population have access to mobile technology. There are many geographic, demographic, and economic factors to it, but ethnic politics is a major aspect of it. Many public goods in Africa are heavily influenced by ethnic politics, and mobile technology is considered a public good. Ethnic politics exists due to the perceived theory of some ethnic groups being larger and organized better than others. Other factors include arable land, petroleum presence, malaria control, and the proximities within capital or major cities. Now, we'll be talking about the social impacts of digital technology in Africa. Africa is one of the most disaster-prone regions in the world, and its disaster management is exacerbated by its limited infrastructure, poverty, and low quality of those infrastructure. After a cyclone hit Mozambique in 2019 and with the COVID-19 pandemic escalating months later, it has been determined that ICT is essential to disaster management. Two main channels in the diffusion of ICT in disaster management are one, awareness and education, and two, disaster relief and assistance. Awareness and education is needed to provide accessibility to the underprivileged and isolated, and disaster relief and assistance is needed to locate victims, collect data, and send aid to survivors. Information communications technologies such as the mobile phone, internet, and social media are ideal for disaster management due to those being easily accessible and were all found to reduce risk and increase preparedness and recovery. ICT and mobile technology have also created impacts on gender inclusion, education, and public accountability, and links between those have also been found. The usage of mobile technology across the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels of education in sub-Saharan Africa exposed some of the gender exclusion, lack of education equality, and low enrollment in schools. This led to more actions for public accountability. Thresholds for the positive impact of mobile technology for each level of education have been created in order to promote such accountability. ICT has become vital to public health in Africa, as the continent is considered one of the most underprivileged in relation to such aspects, shown by the lack of human and physical infrastructure, high risk of illnesses such as HIV/AIDS, and the transmission of such illnesses onto children. However, over time, ICT on healthcare, known as digital health, has been diffused throughout Africa. For maternal health, patients are communicated via digital technology, support of healthcare practices and professions, and promotion of pregnancy and other maternal health aspects. Despite few negative impacts such as power imbalance, lack of communication, and lack of trust, digital health has been positive on maternal health. For the health of children, ICT has been used to ensure access to the neonatal intensive care unit for those with medical emergencies, providing information to parents regarding parenting such as child feeding, and the usage of mHealth apps. According to research statistics, the most common form of ICT on digital health are mobile apps, followed by messaging, websites, social media, wearables, and videos or voice recordings. So in short, Africa saw impacts of digital technology on its institutions as well as some of those institutions impacting the development of such technology. The significance of mobile banking and technology gaps were discussed as economic impacts. The usage of ICT in political participation as well as the impact of ethnic politics on the development of mobile technology were discussed. Finally, the impacts of information communications technology in Africa's disaster management, gender inclusion, education, public accountability, and public health started the development and increase of such technology. This is a full list of all the journals used as references to all of the information, research, and statistics used in the presentation in the APA 7 format. Thank you everyone for your time in viewing and listening to this presentation. I hope you learned a lot from this research and enjoyed gaining such information. Have a great day, everyone.